Closing in network marketing is a lot different than anything I've ever done. Have you guys, anybody in here came from a sales background? Salespeople? Okay, good. Closing in sales is the opposite of this, because when I came from real estate, what they taught me was what you want to do is you want to get the sale, right? And when you're selling a house, you go show them the house, you like the house, great, 3 copies, press hard, sign, and then thank you, and we're gone, and we're on to the next sale, and the job is over. In network marketing, the biggest difference that I've noticed is when people sign up and you make the sale, that's where the job starts rather than where the job ends. And that's just been a huge, huge difference. And a lot of times salespeople are really bad at this industry because we're trying to sell it. Okay, I would write this down. We don't sell World Ventures, we tell World Ventures. I think a real key in closing is, instead of being a salesperson, just be a person. So many people I watch, and they're sitting down with one of their best friends that they've known for 20 years, and all of a sudden, once they get into World Ventures, they turn into a salesperson, and they start trying to sell it to one of their best friends, and their best friend's like, why are you acting so weird? Why are you trying to sell me something? When you're way better off just being a person. Just be yourself. Just tell them about World Ventures, because we don't need anybody, right? They need us. We got the deal. And that's always my posture. My closing mindset, just basically, at all times, what I know as far as closing goes is the more certain person is going to win, right? So after the presentation, who's more certain? You or them? Now, I'd ask you guys, where does the closing process start? Does anybody know when the closing process actually starts? Way before you think it does, okay? Let's put it that way. I think I can literally, if you have a presenter coming in, so there's a lot of different ways to present the information. Basically, the main ways that you should be doing it is at a 2-on-1, a travel party, or a live presentation. Okay, so those are different ways to do it, but in any of those situations, you're going to have somebody who's a third party that's a presenter, okay? And I can literally track, when I come into a market and I'm a presenter, the people that I am introduced to, so if I'm the presenter, the people that actually bring their guests up to me and they meet me before the presentation, I can track that those are almost every single time the people that sign up afterwards. Because how many of you guys realize if you bring somebody in and you introduce them, you edify that presenter, even if it's as simple as a 2-on-1, you say some nice things about that person, that your guest is most likely going to pay attention because they have a reason to pay attention. And if they've actually met the person in the front of the room, how many of you guys realize that person in the front of the room is no longer a salesperson, they're just a person? See, people buy from the people they like and people they trust. And if you haven't brought your guest to the front, or even on a 2-on-1, say something nice about the person that's there so they can meet them and build a little bit of rapport, again, your audience's guard is up. Okay, so your goal is to get the guard down, because when people are comfortable, they will buy. When people are uncomfortable, they won't. So the way we make people comfortable before a presentation is you want to introduce them to as many people as you can, not just the presenter. Introduce them to as many people as you can so people are very comfortable when they start. Okay, and no network marketing talk before a presentation. This stuff all goes to closing. See, because if people are uncomfortable because you're talking about upline, downline, sideline, all this different stuff, people do not want to join something when they feel like they're a part, they don't know what's going on. Okay, they're just uncomfortable before the whole thing starts. Okay, so again, before the presentation, just make people feel comfortable, edify the presenter so they have a reason to listen to them. Okay, sit as close to the front as you can, and then during the presentation, you need to be into the presentation. Okay, so your guest, you need to realize this, your guest is not buying the person in front of the room. Your guest is buying you. There's basically 3 things I think that really make people join World Ventures. There's 3 questions as they're sitting out there in the audience watching the presentation. And there's 3 main questions that we really have to answer for them. Okay, I think the number 1 question is, can I do it? I think a lot of people have the question, can I do it? Because here's what I think about all the time. If everybody thought they could make 6 sales in World Ventures, wouldn't everybody join? So really, the only reason people don't sign up with you, the only reason you're not closing more people, is because they don't believe they can do it. They don't believe they can make 6 sales. So if you're just press and play on a DVD, you need to make the point that all I did here was press play on a DVD. If I can do it, you can do it. Now, we do live presentations. In Chicago, we are tearing it up, and we are doing all live presentations. That's all we're doing. But the presenter knows it's their job during the presentation to stand in front of the room and say, listen, you never have to do this. We have a system in place. See, during the presentation, every single time I say, I need you to look around right now. Can you do what the person who invited you out here is doing right now? And how many of you realize that they're all just staring at me just like the rep is? So they say, if that guy can do it, I can do it. I work for you. I will sit at the front of the room and say, listen, we got a system in place. You think I'm good at presenting? Great. I'm going to stand up here and present for you every single night. All you got to do is get butts in the seats. We're a team. You never, ever have to stand up here and do this. I'll do this for you. We've got a DVD that's going to do this for you. You don't have to do it. And when people start to believe that all they have to do is get people to come see it, people will join your team because they believe they can do it. So, number one thing you got to answer is, can I do it? Okay? I think secondly, they're looking at World Ventures. I think they do actually look at the product, and I would say this though, if somebody looks at what we got with an open mind, they actually look at what we got with an open mind, you cannot tell me that for $365 it doesn't make sense. Okay, everybody that looks at it with an open mind, we got the deal, right? So everybody looks at it with an open mind, it makes sense to them. It's logical as long as they're looking at it with an open mind, so we got that one. But the third and most important thing that makes people join is the person sitting next to them. And they're thinking this really important thing, is that person sitting next to me going to help me? Are they all in? Is that person going to be here in a year? Now, how many of you realize if during a presentation you get up and answer a phone call, you're sending the wrong message to your guests, that you're not taking it seriously, right? If you're leaned back in your chair, if you're not into it, if you're not laughing at the jokes, if you're sitting in the way back, why would they sign up with you? You're not even into the presentation. You're not even doing it. You're probably not even going to help them. So during the presentation, I sit in the front row every single time. Called Moneymaker row. Front row, I'm up front, I'm center, I'm leaning forward every single time. I'm nodding my head. I literally, for the first 40 nights in a row, I went to David Peach's chiropractic office. I heard David Peach say the same stupid joke. 40 nights in a row. What do you guys think I did? I laughed. David Peach said, raise your hand if you're a member of Sam's Club. What do you think I did? I'm not a member of Sam's Club. But I raised my hand, right? I'm participating, I'm into it because I know that guy next to me is buying me, he's not buying Peach.